All right, we've arrived at the final unit of the year, and it is time to talk about waves. Now, waves are something you undoubtedly have experience with. You've probably seen them in the water. Whether you've been to the ocean or a lake, somewhere on the beach you have seen waves. Or you've probably also seen ripples in the water caused by maybe a droplet of water, a pebble, anything that causes a disturbance. You've seen that familiar rippling pattern. So waves are found everywhere in the universe, made by all sorts of things. And if you can understand the physics underpinning waves, you can understand those phenomena much better. But there's one thing that produces waves, or one thing that's carried by waves that I care about a lot, and that's sound. Let's talk about sound. That's right, all sound is dependent on waves. If you don't have waves, you don't have sound, period. In fact, the only way you're hearing right now is that your speakers are producing waves which hit your ears, allowing you to hear sound. And that also means, as all of this musical stuff that I have tactfully put into frame would suggest, music is also dependent on waves. And there's some really cool physics underpinning music, which means I finally get to talk about the two major academic things that make up my life, which are music and science. So we're going to be learning about a lot of cool waves physics that will eventually allow us to understand some really cool music. So let's get to it. So instruments like this cavaquinho here are able to make sound waves by vibrating. So I play one of these strings, the string vibrates, creating these waves which crash into your ear and you experience sound. So let's take something like A440. When that note is played, it means that whatever is producing that sound is vibrating 440 times every second. Something that you're not going to be able to see with your own eye. But if I pitch down this lowest string and then play a video of it back to you at a much slower speed, you can just barely make out this waggling back and forth motion of the string making sound. Super cool, right? Alright, so I'm going to leave you with a bit of a puzzle. Something I'm not going to explain this week or next week, not until the end of the unit when we have enough pieces to put everything together. So my question is this. When you hear the same pitch being played by, let's say, 3 different instruments, how are you able to tell those sounds apart? That is, how can you tell that a middle C played on a trumpet is different from a middle C played on an oboe? Well, we're eventually going to figure this out together, so come along for the ride and let's learn about waves.